Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And today I want to talk about manifesting and holy cow, the challenges that we have with manifesting. So, traditionally, as we've been taught since The Secret came out, manifesting looks like, to most people, saying your affirmations, visualizing what you want, and making sure that you believe that you're going to have it, right? Those are the three main tools that people use for manifesting. And they work for some people. So let's talk about why they work for some people and then why they don't work for people like me and what we can do to change that. Okay, so the majority of the world comes from the lower chakras in their, as far as personalities go. You've got the really solid, concrete people who they kind of hold our whole society together. They are workers. They are very traditional, that kind of thing. The root chakra persons. And I'm not like qualified or like super studied up on it to really give you a detailed understanding of the root chakra personality, but the most of the world comes from the lower three chakras. So the sacral chakra people are super creative people. They're super bubbly, super fun. They love to play. They're one of the types of artists, or any type. All 7 types can be artists. Typically, more artists come from sacral. Some come from the throat and some come from the third eye. And they all have kind of a different reason for it. But a lot of your playful artists come from the sacral. And this is like the one that's most associated with sex. This is the one that is about like the physical senses, the sensuality of things, and that kind of thing. They are pretty common, and a breath of fresh air, really. I'm so glad we have them in our world. I've quite enjoyed some of my relationships with these people. They keep things fun. The people who have that come from the solar plexus. Sorry about that. I was like totally not like connecting in my brain. It's probably because it's one of my weakest chakras. I'm trying to remember exactly what they are. This is where your personal power comes from. This is self-esteem. People who have a healthy solar plexus chakras are not going to have boundary issues, because this is where some of our boundary issues come from. They're going to be more just more confident people. They're going to be natural leaders, things like that. And so we actually have quite a few people like this in our world. So these are the lower 3 chakras. And a lot of the world comes from this. Now, if you operate from a lower chakra, then bringing in the opposite of those chakras is going to help you. So the tools. Let's talk about the tools. Affirmations. This comes from the throat chakra. So especially if you're maybe a solar plexus, they kind of link together. They link actually through the heart, but they link together. So they're kind of companion chakras. And so if you're solar plexus, if you're strong in your solar plexus, you are going to have the most benefit from coming from a throat chakra manifesting. So affirmations and speaking what you want and telling people about what you want and that kind of thing, which is one of the main ways people talk about creating things, right? If you are, and all lower chakra people can benefit from all 3 of these, okay? Third eye is visual, and it's very visual, and so when people who are coming from the lower, especially from the sacral chakra, engage in that visualization, then it is actually creating that, because I'll explain why it happens, but that's like going to be one of their great tools, is to bring in the visualization. If they are already a sacral person, they're going to bring in their opposite, and it's going to be so powerful for them. Root chakra people are going to do well if they pray, connect to heavenly, or, to a divine source, really believe that what they have is already there, tapping into those beliefs that come from the crown chakra. So those are the three main manifesting tools. Work amazing for people who come from a lower chakra. So that's why so many people actually get results from using vision boards and from using affirmations and from using belief work and prayer and trusting the divine and all that kind of thing, because it's already activating it. Now, I'm going to talk about the upper three, then we'll come back and talk about the heart. So the people who have a throat chakra, they are really good about expressing themselves, but they may not always have the confidence to do so. They're already saying everything. They're already speaking everything, but it's kind of getting stuck and not coming out into the real world. So they may struggle until they can bring in some of the action that comes from the solar plexus. Solar plexus is also very action oriented. So they want to speak it, but then they also want to act on it. And sometimes throat chakra dominant people forget to act, so they struggle with manifesting. Third eye people. Third eye is not my dominant, but it's one that's quite active for me. So we're highly intuitive, highly visual. And some people are like, well, if they're already visual, why do they have such a hard time? It's like, well, I've been visualizing things my entire life. And if everything that I visualized manifested, number one, I'd be living in a perfect world of some kind. There'd be unicorns. There would be, who knows how many guys I would have visualized into my life. Like, I live in that space. I live in the out there kind of space. So I'm not actually connected to the world. We need to bring it down into some of the lower chakras. Again, I'll talk about that in a little bit more. Bringing in sensuality, bringing in actual body experiences, like bringing in the smells, bringing in the tastes, bringing in the feeling of things, like really getting in the body while doing those things is one of the ways that actually people from this chakra can manifest, is because we are so disconnected from our body. As an upper chakra person, upper chakra persons tend to be disconnected from their body, and it's that bringing it down into the body that allows it to actually create. So if you are a highly spiritual person, this is like my secondary chakra. It actually goes heart, this one, throat, and this one for me. So they're all upper chakra for me. And if highly already connected to the divine, but we're in such a light and airy space that bringing it down into the solid kind of is really uncomfortable to bring and really feel into the solidness of the earth. People up here are, well, all upper chakra people, but especially the ones coming from the crown, really need to ground. They need to do earthing activities. They need to really, really, truly, solidly connect with the world. So we talk about in chakras, so often people talk about this progression of chakras going from the root up to the crown. I've always struggled with it and couldn't figure out why until today. Because I always thought I need to go the other way. But it's kind of an ascension thing in that if you were a root chakra person, you want to develop your root chakra and move up until you become like God, right? Well, if you're already up here knowing that you are like God and that you are a highly spiritual being and connected, you've already got that stuff awakened, and so it's not really a moving up process for you. It's kind of the opposite process for you. The manifestation process is bringing things down from the spirit and into the world. So it's coming down. You have the possibilities and the ideas, and then you know it's all possible because it's divine, right? You have that spiritual creation of what you have. You start to see it in your third eye, and you're like, oh my gosh, not only is this idea amazing, but I can totally see it happening. And then you start to speak it, and you start to talk about it, and it's becoming more real as it moves down. Move into the heart, and the heart's all about love. It is putting some love into that, is putting some great feeling into that, really putting some heart and soul into this experience, bringing it down. You keep bringing it down, and you get into your solar plexus, and you add some confidence into that reality. You know what's going to happen. You add some action into it. You're going to take some action. You bring it down. You're going to have fun with it. You're going to add more feelings to it in the sacral. You're going to play with it. If you get kind of stuck along the way, you're going to use all the little creative outlets to kind of create a solution where you need to. So there's a lot of creativity involved. And then you bring it down into the solidity of life. You bring it down into the root chakra, and you make it happen. It becomes alive. It becomes a part of the world and earth experience. It manifests. It has solidity. Each one of these things gets, like, the vibration up here is really high, and each one gets a little bit thicker and a little bit more solid until it becomes real as it's coming down the chakra process, or coming down the chakra channels. So if you're an upper chakra person, really focus on looking at what the chakra is below. What do I need to do? Really focus on those. If you are a dominant lower chakra person, which some of you may be, but most of my followers probably are more upper chakra. If you are, tap into the upper chakra things. What place are you missing? For me, bringing things into the solid, remembering to take action, remembering to add some really nice feelings and sensuality to it, and like really start to feel it in my body. Not just feel it in emotions, but feel it in my body, add that sensual creativity to it. Those are things that I need more of. And the heart is a bridge to it. A heart chakra people, they can start to get some benefits from coming down into there. The problem with heart chakra people is that because they're kind of a bridge place, sometimes they become a little either or. So sometimes for me, I'm either like, I will go into creating my budget and like really trying to be solid and present and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of go into that, and when I go into that, I kind of have disconnected from some of my more natural ways of being, my upper chakra stuff. Because I kind of it's almost like I flip. It's like I'm either going to be all upper chakra, or I'm going to go into the lower chakras. Kind of have this flip thing. So a part of it for me is unifying the process, creating the flow and the whole connection of the whole process. And that's one of the things that I get to do as a heart chakra dominant person, is really connect the upper and the lower chakra, so that the whole thing, so that I can take an idea from beginning to end and keep it connected, not the either or. So it's really struggling. It's really frustrating for a lot of us. We research manifesting. We're like, okay, I know that manifesting is possible. We know it is. We have that inner knowing that it's possible. We have that inner knowing that it already is, but getting that already is into the physical reality is really hard for some of us. And that's why, if you can look at the chakras a little bit differently and start like thinking, going the other way, let's bring it down into creation. Let's bring it down through the chakras. Let's do the creating the ideas and bringing it down and adding each element until it becomes a reality. And where do you have the most troubles with it? What are your most problems? Do you struggle with staying grounded? Do you struggle with actually feeling what's going on in your body, or feeling things sensually? Do you struggle with taking action? Which is your hardest? Focus on the one that's your hardest, and see if you start seeing a difference in your life. I'm really excited about this because I want to I want to switch my world around. I want to actually manifest things. I want to see the people that I love actually manifesting things. I love clearing the energy. I love changing all these things, but I also realize that the energy that I need to focus on the most is what's keeping me from being grounded, what's keeping me from taking action, what's keeping me from being sensual, like where am I, like what's really keeping me, and what's keeping me from being a whole person versus I'm either hanging out in the upper stuff or I'm hanging out in the lower stuff. When I'm hanging out in the lower stuff, I'm not very nice, just saying. So for me, it's going to be like really taking a look. I know that I don't have a problem in this area, this area, this area, this area. It's when I start getting to those lower chakras that I start having problems. So I'm going to look at those. And I invite you guys to look at where your areas of struggle are as well. I love you guys so much. I hope that this all made sense to you and maybe you had some aha moments and that you can apply this knowledge to your lives and go out and make wonderful lives for yourself and be all magical and everything. I'm excited for it. I will see you guys next time. I love you. Remember, be the incredible you that you are designed to be, and I will see you next time.